First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. That's all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, and Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. I also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching His word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabah in the Great Millstone, Arizona camp, Lord will, with another video to edify. And what you see on the screen is I'm going to go through these precepts. I was watching the brother from GMS, Kayal 144, a brother that goes into a lot of the Hebrew. He said a statement in here in his code. I'm going to name it for this video, and it's going to be called Esau was set up to be wet up. And that's really what it is. When you go back to this devil's blessing from the jump, the Lord put this devil in a terrible spot. Now I'm going to start off with this Psalm 73, and I'll start at 3, and I'll just keep going down. It says, I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Right? And who's the wicked? Malachi 1 and 4 tells you Esau Edom is the wicked. Right? And they're living in prosperity now. This is why the scriptures go back. There's another one that says, I find this one real quick. Yeah, here it is. Zechariah 11 and 5. It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. This is Esau Edom all the way. And they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. And this is Esau's mindset. So going back to that Psalm 73 and 3, it says, For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men, because what is given unto them to have power on the earth. Daniel's 8 and 24 tells you their power shall be mighty, but not by their own power. Right? So he's been given this time on earth to do all these things. Right? In the book of Revelation, it tells you that it was given to him to take peace from the earth. It says verse 6, therefore pride comes to them as a chain, and violence covered them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than a heart can wish. And this goes all the way back to Genesis. When it goes into the blessing, it says, look, Genesis 27 and 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? My father blessed me, even me also. My father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Going back into, what is that, Hebrews, when it talks about who saw the Kephralim with tears. This is what it's referring back to, is Esau's crying and bitching, right? After he sold the birthright, after he did all these things, right? He's asking for a blessing that he sold out on. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and it says, and of the dew up from heaven above. Right? So going back to that Psalms 73 and 7, it says, their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than a heart can wish. The Lord blessed them with this portion, right? It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, right? Back in Genesis 27 and 40. By the sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother and Jacob. And this is what this devil's been doing this whole time. But going all the way back to his blessing, and we're going to get back to that Psalms. From the jump, this devil was set up from the Lord. Right? So this is going back in Psalm 73. I want to finish this out before I go to the next precept. It says, Psalm 73 and 8, it says, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth, and in Texas, they're sitting there trying to change the definition of what really happened to the so-called Negroes in slavery. They're trying to say that it was, they're trying to now change it from being slaves to being forced migrators or something like that. They speaking wickedly concerning oppression. It says they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Right? The laws that they set up, a man could be with a man and a woman could be with a woman. That's against the law. That's against the Lord. That's their tongue. That's their mouth being set against the heaven, and their tongue walking through the earth is because he spread all this wickedness through all these countries. Therefore, his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them, meaning they're fully nourished. They get all the wealth. It says, and they say, how doth the Most High know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Right? Now I'm going to jump down to verse 18. It says, surely thou didst set them in a slippery place. Thou didst cast them down into destruction. And the slippery place started all the way back in Genesis with this blessing. It said, verse 40, it says, Genesis 27 and 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live. Right? By thy sword shalt thou live. When you go back to the book of Matthew, 26th chapter, right? I started the 51st verse, pointings in the 52nd, as you can see. And behold, one of them that were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew the sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Then said Yahushua unto them, put again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. And this devil has no choice but to take the sword because that was his blessing. The Lord set him up from the jump, right? And now we're in the time where his judgment's starting to come out. Everybody's starting to look at him weird, right? You got the nations ready to bomb America to Smith of rings. You got old niggas, right? 100-year-old niggas that were in the military that so-called fought for this country, weep in the morning because the America they knew, right? And 100 years ago, man, hey, niggas was getting lynched still. The America they knew was gone. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with a sword must be killed with a sword. Now, didn't it say that he's going to live by the sword? Right? The scriptures there's another one that says by cutting off many people. Yeah, this is Habakkuk 2. And I'll start at 8. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveted with an evil covetousness to his house. And this is what Esau's done. America is nothing but built on covetousness. You have the dude, let me see if I can find it. He talked about American excellence. Yeah, here it is. Mike Pompeo. We lied, we cheat, we stole. And he called it American excellence. Let's just play it.
One of the things I tell young men, well, and young women as well, but the young men really need to hear this more, I think. You should be a monster, an absolute monster.
I like this dude, Jordan
and then you should
Peterson,
learn how
man.
to control it.
I think he had Jake.
I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It's like we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.
The glory of the American experiment, right? Habakkuk 2 and 9. It says, "Woe to them that covet with an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high." That's what he did. He stole all the resources of the world, so what America could be propped up, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and has sinned against thy soul. And this is what he's done. So through his sword, he's cut off many people, and chiefly the Israelites is who he messed up and cut off. So what? Now the Lord is preparing that judgment against this devil. Right? So from the jump, he was set up to get wet up, man. The Lord is preparing the sword against him. Let me go back to this Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with a sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Right? So these are what the saints are waiting on. Who are the saints? What is that? Psalms 50? Get this. You have to know who the saints are, because a lot of people try to act like the saints are just floating out in space somewhere, not waiting and expecting the Lord to bring judgment. No, the saints are waiting for the day where the Lord is going to bring out the judgment for all the wickedness done in the earth. Psalms 50 and 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And who are the ones that made a covenant with the Lord by sacrifice? The Israelites, right? So those are the saints. This is what the true Israelites are waiting for the Lord to put out judgment against this devil. Right? This is Zechariah 11 and 5. It says, whose possessors save them and hold themselves not guilty. And no, that's not the one I wanted. There's another one. Yeah, here it is. Isaiah 47 and start at 5. It says, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldees. This is talking about America. This is that slippery place that the Lord set him in. Right? He's giving him this time to be able to do all these things, all this wickedness under Jake. Right? I'm going to go to this first, because this backs up my statement. Isaiah 3 and 14, it says, Yahweh will enter in judgment with the ancients of his people and the princes thereof, for they have eaten up the vineyard, and the spoil of the poor is in your houses. What mean ye that ye beat my people to pieces and grind the faces of the poor, say Yahweh of hosts. And this is what Esau's done. There's another one that says, we have laid even as the ground. I think it's in Ezekiel. Let me put this in. Yeah, here it is. These are Isaiah 51 and 23. It says, but I will put you into the hand of them, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflicted thee. They have said to thy soul, bow down, go. Right, I got to start up because this is talking about the cup. It says, verse 21. It says, therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Right, this is talking about the Israelites, because what we were drunken with the wrath and the fury of the Lord. Thus say Yahweh power, and thy power that plead the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, talking about Esau, Edom, and the other nations, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over. And this is what we've been brought very low. Right? Go back to where I was at. We've been brought extremely low. So back in Isaiah 3 and 15, no, I could drop that. Isaiah 47. Where is that at? Salaki, I got my presets jumbled up. Yeah, is this it? Yep. Isaiah 47 and 5 again. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans. This is talking about the new Babylon, and the Chaldeans were what? The chief magicians, right? It says, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdomness. This is what America's called right now. No wars pop off here. People move here because they're tired of being in war. It says, I was wrothing with my people. I polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancients hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And this is what Esau has done. He consistently slays us. But the Lord has given him his power so he can what? Bring his judgment against him. It says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end. Therefore hear now this, that are given to pleasure, that dwellest careless, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall be, so like I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children, but these two things shall come upon thee in one day, right? The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantment. So America, you Edomites, right? You're through. You're through. You've been set up to get wet up by the Heavenly Father. Shalom.